The following installation should be performed by qualified technicians familiar with standard procedures for working on and around today's vehicles with sophisticated electronics. Tools listed here are for general description only, and your tools may vary. It is the installer's responsibility to determine the appropriate style of tool for use in each step. Example: right angle screwdriver may be used in place of a straight screwdriver to ease removal and installation. Tools you'll be needing for installation include a ratchet, extension, 10 and 12 millimeter sockets, a specialty tool or 8 millimeter socket, a Phillips screwdriver, cutters, trim removal tool, a torque wrench, a 50-50 mix of isopropyl alcohol and water, and a clean cloth. Open the hood, detach and isolate the battery's negative terminal. Remove the fuse panel cover. Next, remove the driver's side dash end cap by disengaging the 4 pressure clips. Using a Phillips screwdriver, extract 2 screws from the side of the lower dash panel and 2 from the bottom corners of the panel. Release the clip on the side of the lower panel and pull gently along the top of the panel to disengage the 6 clips anchoring the panel to the dash. Detach the OBD2 plug from the panel and set the panel aside for reinstallation later. Remove the 4 10mm bolts securing the knee bolster plate. During reinstallation, these bolts will be torqued to 7 foot-pounds. Carefully pull the weather strip away from the side of the driver's kick panel and front door step area. Remove the driver's side front door step sill trim panel by inserting the trim removal tool under the trim panel and prying upward to release the 4 clips and 2 hooks. Remove the hood release handle by compressing the center post tabs while prying the handle away from the kick panel with your hand or a trim tool. Remove the driver's kick panel by pulling inwards to release the 2 pressure clips. Identify and disconnect the factory 58-pin female ignition connector and then plug in the corresponding remote start harness connector. Locate the smart module at the back side of the fuse box. There are 3 connectors. Disconnect the factory 24-pin female connector and then plug in the corresponding remote start harness connector. Locate the power supply on the right-hand side of the EPS module. Slide the yellow locking tab to the side and then disengage the harness. Insert the power supply harness into the supplied T-harness connector. Reinstall the other side of the T-harness connector back into the EPS module. Verify that the connections are locked in place and secure. Failure to do so could cause failure of the power steering assist during driving. Plug the 6-pin harness connector and 10-pin harness connector into the supplied main controller module. Plug the 7-pin connector into the supplied relay box. Remove the film from the double-sided tape on the antenna and adhere the antenna onto the main module as shown. Connect the blue 6-pin connector of the antenna harness into the main module's blue connection port. Insert the other end of the antenna harness into the antenna's black connector port. Press firmly to confirm the connection on the antenna. Join 2 cable ties together and install around the module and antenna to secure both parts together. Trim off excess cable ties. Pay attention not to route the cable ties over the antenna button or electrical connectors. The long wire of the remote start harness is for the hood safety switch. Locate the vehicle's main harness, which passes through the bulkhead to the vehicle's engine room. Slightly push the rubber grommet towards the engine room to make a gap for the hood safety switch harness. Insert the hood safety switch harness into the gap. After feeding the hood safety switch through the grommet, route it to the engine compartment and continue to pull the wire through. Adjust the harness so there is approximately 12 inches of length between the module and the firewall. Reseat the grommet into the firewall. Verify the grommet is seated completely to prevent moisture and fumes from entering into the cabin. Prepare to install the cable tie. Position the main controller module and relay module, the BS900, behind the fuse box and then use 3 cable ties to attach to the factory harness. Cable tie the fuse of the MD-PS harness with the factory harness. Cable tie the MC11 harness with the factory harness. The installation position of the MC11 harness may need to be adjusted to allow the kick panel to fit properly. Make sure the wire harnesses do not interfere with the driver's feet. Secure the remote start harness to the MD-PS wire with the factory harness, yellow in color, using 1 cable tie. Trim off excess cable tie. Cable tie the remote start harness to the vehicle's harness as shown. Trim off excess cable tie. Route the hood safety switch harness beside the factory harness located along the driver's side of the vehicle's bulkhead to the engine compartment. Using 2 cable ties, loosely secure the hood safety switch harness to the existing factory harness. Leave ties loose to adjust the length of the harness as necessary later. Continue to route the hood safety switch harness along the passenger side of the bulkhead. Using 2 cable ties, loosely secure the harness as shown above. Route the wires behind the ABS pump bracket and along the side of the strut tower. Use 2 zip ties to anchor to the existing factory harness. Do not attach to the brake lines. Continue routing the safety switch harness around the strut tower, following the factory harness up to the headlamp assembly and up to the hood latch location. Attach the safety switch harness to the factory harness using 4 wire ties as shown. Anchor the harness to the plastic loop on the headlamp assembly. Do not attach to the yellow harness next to the headlamp. Disconnect the coolant drain tube clip from the hood latch bracket using pliers. Remove the 3 10mm bolts and remove the vehicle's hood latch, then disconnect the hood release cable. Locate the provided hood latch and switch assembly. Connect the hood latch to the hood release cable. Verify engagement of the cable before mounting the bracket to the vehicle. Reinstall the bolts removed earlier. Tighten them to 7 foot-pounds. Reconnect the coolant drain tube clip. If a latch is not properly installed and torqued to specification, the hood may open while driving and may cause an accident. Verify the hood latch cable engagement before closing the hood. Insert the hood safety switch harness connector into the hood latch switch connector. Warning: verify that the pins are not bent in the hood latch switch connector. Do not force the connector as damage may result. Attach the harness holder clips to the core support. Adjust the harness as necessary and tighten all loose fitted cable ties. Trim off excess cable ties with wire cutters. Clean the top surface of the radiator core support. Ensure that the surface is completely dry. Remove the backing on the warning label and mount in place. Reconnect the negative battery cable. Test the lock and unlock function using the factory smart key. Install the hood lever. Close all doors, trunk, and hood. Perform the function check. If the vehicle is not responding, please carefully recheck all wiring connections, especially antenna wiring and main module connections. Press the button one time with all doors, hood, and trunk closed. You'll see the remote lock LED flash, vehicle signal lights flash once, and all doors will lock. Press the button 2 times. The remote unlock LED will flash, vehicle signal light will flash twice, and driver's door will unlock. Press 2 more times. The remote unlock LED will flash, vehicle signal light will flash twice, and all doors will unlock. Press the button 1 time. The remote lock LED will flash, the vehicle signal light will flash once, and all doors will lock. Then, within 3 seconds, press and hold the button until the remote key LED flashes. The remote LED will flash, the engine will crank and start within 5 seconds, and the vehicle signal light will flash twice after the engine starts. After starting the engine with the remote, press the button 2 times. The remote unlock LED will flash, vehicle signal light will flash twice, and the driver's door will unlock. Press the button 2 more times after starting the engine with the remote, and the remote unlock LED will flash, the vehicle signal light will flash twice, and all doors will unlock. After starting the engine with the remote, press the button 1 time. The remote lock LED will flash, the vehicle signal light will flash once, and all doors will lock. After starting the engine with the remote, press and hold the button for 2 seconds. The remote key LED will flash, the engine will shut down. After starting the engine with the remote, open the hood. The engine will shut down immediately. After starting the engine with the remote, unlock and open any door. The engine will shut down after 30 seconds. After starting the engine with the remote, open the trunk. The engine will shut down after 50 seconds. On the smart key, press the lock button. The vehicle signal light will flash once and all doors will lock. Press the trunk button or the horn button within 3 seconds of the lock button press. The engine will crank and start within 5 seconds. The vehicle signal light will flash twice after the engine start. After starting the engine with the remote, on the smart key, press the unlock button. The vehicle signal lights will flash twice and the driver's door will unlock. Press the unlock button 1 more time, the vehicle signal lights will flash twice and all doors will unlock. Press the trunk open button or horn button, the engine will shut down. With the engine off, the ignition on, press and hold the brake pedal, then press and hold the button for 2 seconds. With the valet mode on, the signal flashes once. The valet mode off, the signal lights flash twice. Note: when the system is in the valet mode, the remote starter will not start the engine. The remote will still lock and unlock the vehicle in valet mode. Each time you press the button for 2 seconds, the option is toggled. The default is valet mode off. Reinstall all panels in reverse order of removal. Remember the knee bolster bolts torqued to 7 foot-pounds. Attach the transmitter to the original key fob rings. Insert the user's guide and owner's guide in the glove box.